All right, we are starting in child's pose. So you have your knees wide and your toes touching. Push your hips back onto your heels as much as you reasonably can. You can use your hands to push into the floor. That will help your hips get back on your knees more. When you lower your chest and your head toward the floor, if you don't comfortably go down to the floor, feel free to put a block under your forehead. Now, if you would like to have a little bit more of a shoulder stretch, you can take a block under your hands. So if you get your head and your shoulders to the floor, or your head and your chest to the floor, and your hands are up on a block ahead of you, you're going to get a little more stretch in your shoulders. So feel free to give that a try. In your child's pose, take a moment to just breathe and observe the sensations in your body. You may already be feeling your hips, your knees, your back, your neck, whatever you're feeling, it just is. As you stay in your child's pose, bring your awareness to your emotional state and simply notice it. Again, it just is. Sensations of the body, the feelings of the emotions, constantly in change. You don't want them to get stuck. You want them to move. And sometimes they do get stuck. One way to help them move is to notice them. And we need to slow down to be able to notice. If you now use your breath and you imagine that your whole body is one big lung, one big breathing machine. When you inhale, you will fill your whole body. You can feel the body expanding, creating more space. And when you exhale, the entire body collapses, letting go of all its holdings. And again, on your inhales, fill the entire body with life-giving air, expanding. And on your exhales, releasing, letting go. Go ahead and push up onto your knees, and you can bring your knees a little bit closer together so that you're in that tabletop. Now it's easy in this tabletop to have your arms way ahead of you. I'd like you to pay attention, make sure they're kind of under your shoulders. And same thing, your knees are under your hips. Now let's begin with just a forward and backward motion. So I'm leaning forward, leaning my weight forward. I'm actually getting a stretch in my wrists. And then I'm leaning my hips back, pushing into my hands and pulling those hips to my heels. Again, as you're ready, going as far forward as you reasonably can, and then as far back as you reasonably can. So your knees, your hips, your core, can you feel that your core actually holds you, especially when you get way out over your hands? You're working at this. It's so simple. So much is going on. Nice. When you're ready, come to that stillness in the tabletop again. And this time, I want you to move your body side to side. Now, we're not too precise here. If side to side feels to you like it should go more like a circle, feel free to make it more like a circle, kind of forward and back and side to side. And feel free to switch if you went one direction. So I've got side to side and forward and back and making big circles. Good. And then again, I come through that stillness. And this time, I'm going to do the more traditional cat and cow, where you raise your head and your tailbone on your inhale. And then as you exhale, you round everything, your back toward the sky, your head and your tailbone toward the floor. Each inhale, you pull the shoulder blades down as the head comes up and the tailbone comes up. And each exhale, you push toward the sky with your hands, curling the head down and the tailbone down. And you can continue with this if you're really loving this because your spine is getting warmed up. Or if you would like to begin doing some disco cat and cow, where you kind of push your hips to the side, your shoulder to the side. You kind of use your whole spine, however you want it to move, whatever direction it's telling you to move. Maybe it's figure eights, side to side. You will feel where your body needs to go if you slow enough that you're paying attention to it. It's like that process of waking up in the morning. You wake up and you don't think you're stiff, and then you begin to move and you go, ooh, I need to kind of move through that spot. I'm sure you've all experienced that. It's not just me. All right, and back to stillness in that tabletop. Beautiful. I'm going to invite you to bring your right knee forward by your hands. Now I'm not going into a pigeon, I'm not doing anything sideways. I'm just going to begin to wobble my left foot back behind me. And I might even go up onto my fingertips because I can now lift my body. My goal is going to be able to get my body up a lot further. But here's the thing. As you start to push upward, you'll start to feel a little bit of tension along that left leg, kind of into the lowest part of the belly. So we're looking at the hip flexor area. And as you do that, you'll naturally start to twist the hips open to release it. So it's important that you pull that left hip down and forward. Okay, now are we getting a sensation there?
Yes.
Yes. Good. Okay. So if you're not getting the sensation, then you can have blocks to help you push down more and up more with your whole body and pull that left hip forward a lot. That's going to help you get that sensation in front of that left hip. So it's kind of like a pre-pigeon. Take those shoulders and pull them down. Push into your hands. That'll help you. There you go. Breathe in and breathe out. Now I'm going to set aside any blocks I have. And for just a moment, I'm going to kind of collapse down here. Again, it's kind of like a pre-pigeon. Nice. Just pushing up again from here. Tucking my left toes under so that I can lift my knee off the ground. Left toes are tucked under and I can lift my knee. Now push through your back heel. Can't see this at all. There you go. So tuck the toes under, lift the knee, and push back through that heel. Okay, more sensation along that whole leg, I hope. Good. You can begin to lift more if you'd like. Think about that left hip pulling forward again. Good. All right, release that knee Release those toes and switch sides. My left knee is coming forward. My right leg is going behind me. I begin to push kind of upish, not completely vertical with my body, but where I can. And I think about the right hip. Don't let it open. You're going to pull the right hip down and forward. Good. Just experience this for a moment. Breathing in and out. One more breath in. Like you can fold for just a moment. And release everything. And then come back up. We're going to tuck the toes of the right foot under. Once the toes are tucked under, you can lift that knee of the right foot. With the knee up, you can begin to lift your body even more. You can have blocks or whatever you want to help push your body up. Now push back through that right heel. There you go. Think about that right hip pulling forward, down and forward as you're pushing back with the right heel, and you should have a really nice sensation at this point. Yes. Good. Breathing in and breathing out. Go ahead and lower that right knee. Release these. And let's go back to the tabletop. From the tabletop, let's extend that left foot behind us so you're up on your toes again and the knee is straight of the left foot. Good. Okay, from here, I want you to wobble your weight. So I'm going to have my toes on the floor, and I'm pushing into the toes and kind of pushing back so that I can get as much weight on my back toe as possible. You could even lift your front knee, the right knee. Okay, forward, and then, so that kind of releases everything. And then we're going back again into that toe, lifting that front knee, pushing all strongly through the back heel. Good. Push it down. Forward again with the weight. And then as you lean your weight back, you're into your back toes. Lift the front knee. Push through that back heel strongly. And the hands as well, because you're supporting your shoulder now. And release. Good. All right. Knees together. Right foot behind you. Okay. First, we're going to move forward with our weight. So you get the idea of that forward. And then we're going to push back onto our toes. Good. Now you can lift your left knee. Push down with your hands. Use your shoulders. Push strongly. Now push back with that right heel. Good. All right, knee down. Release a little bit. Go forward. You're ready. You're going to push back into those toes. You're going to use your shoulders as you push into your hands, and you're going to lift the left knee. So the core is getting some strengthening. Nice. You're pushing through that heel. Release. All right, last time here. Breathe a minute. Move forward. You got it. Okay. Pushing through the back heel. Pushing through the hands from the shoulders. Lifting that left knee. Nice. Breathe in. Breathe out. And release. Knees wide. Sitting back onto your heels. Extending into your child's pose. Child's pose is a relaxation pose. Go ahead and rest in your relaxation for just a minute or two, just a breath. So finding your child's pose. where you are relaxed and comfortable is important. Sometimes, though, it takes a while to even find that because we have so much stiffness in our hips and our knees that we can't even comfortably get into this. So we want to find something where you feel supported and comfortable. Inhale and exhale. And when you are ready, getting up to a seat, let's go ahead and extend our legs forward so that we're in the staff pose. Now again, anybody who's not able to sit with your shoulders above your hips comfortably needs to find something, a folded blanket, towel, a pillow, put it under your hips if you need to, so that you can then rotate the pelvis forward and find that ability to sit with your shoulders above your hips comfortably. Good. Now from here, let's go ahead and pull the toes back towards your body. Lift the pelvic floor. Pull the ribs together. Extend your arms up as you inhale and look up between your hands. Nice. On your exhale, lower your arms down, but keep your body nice and tall. Keep lifting through the pelvic floor. Good. Think about the backs of your legs and push them into the floor. Inhale when you're ready, raising your chin toward the ceiling. Keeping this length in the body. Lower the arms without lowering the body. Good. Now imagine that you're moving the arms, but don't move them. Inhale, the whole body is lifting a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further, looking up. And as you exhale, you're going to lower, but don't lower the body. Nice. Okay, you're going to do the same thing again. Inhale, lengthen as though you were lifting the arms. The whole body is lifting. But this time, as you exhale, you see a luscious chocolate cake or an apple or whatever you want in front of you. So as you exhale, you're going to begin to just lean toward that thing up there. Your whole spine is still long. Good. And you're lifting, lifting, lifting. Lovely. And relax again. So this is all through the core, through the spine, and you're getting a lot of hip and hamstring stretching at the same time. Push the legs down. Lift the body. Let's go ahead and lift the arms with it. Good, good, good. And as you exhale, again, you're trying to bite that apple or chocolate cake. It's right out there. You're reaching for it, but it's not just the shoulders. It's the whole body lifting. Good. And now imagine that has changed and it's a little ladder. And you can do this little wobbling walk where your hips are moving and your shoulders are moving, your arms are moving, everything's moving. And you might actually find that you're walking forward using your hips. You still have that length in your body because that little extra length in the body is going to help you get there. Good. Nice. And relax. All right, let's do a nice deep forward fold while we're here. So I'm going to find that length first, and then I'm going to exhale. And as I do, I'm going to get to a point where I need to round. Go ahead and do the rounding. And you can have something, a bolster, a pillow, to support you in this. You can have something for it to go under your head. Find that relaxed pose that you can hold The reason we use the props here is so that your body isn't in a state of resistance. It's in a state of support. And sometimes I can just, use my elbows and my thumbs. So my elbows are on my lap and my thumbs are at my third eye. There you go. Feeling that support is very important, not just for the emotions, but for the body. The body wants to protect you. And when we get to a place of resistance, the body resists more because it doesn't want to go into injury. It doesn't want to get too stretched. So you need to find the supports so that your body starts to trust that it's in a safe place. Once the body feels safe, then when you inhale and you fill with that life-giving oxygen, when you exhale, your whole body can release a little bit deeper. So one more time, take that big breath and fill your whole body, finding a little bit of length into that spine, extending upward. And when you're ready to release that breath, it's not just the breath releasing, it's the entire body releasing the holding of the muscles and allowing this fold to get deeper. And through this process of holding without being still, you will be able to move more deeply through the layers of the muscles. Continue breathing deeply, extending each time, and continue exhaling, relaxing each time. If we were doing traditional yin, we would stay here for about 5 minutes. And through that time and continuation of the experience, so 5 minutes in the same pose every day, you move deeper and deeper. You actually get into that fascia tissue, that thin sheath of that white film that covers the entire body, from your toes to the top of your head. And that fascia is so important because it holds old emotions, it holds old physical injuries, and as it holds, it tightens up and creates these little knots. And these little knots can affect not just that spot, but they extend because the whole fascia is connected, and they start affecting other areas of your body. So you need to find these opportunities to have these long holds, to release deeper and deeper. By releasing deeper and deeper and getting into the fascia, you have the ability to release these old emotions, these old injuries, and thus release some of your newer sensations that have just shown up without any reason because of the connection of the fascia. All right, go ahead and begin to walk your way out of this. I really enjoy that. I just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper when I fold. Just using that breath, I'll start up here and I'll end up, not quite touching my nose to my knees, but I'm on the way down and I can feel it. each breath. How many of you can find that you just keep getting deeper when you do that? Yes, love that. So sometimes we're scared almost. We're like, no, I can't. I can't get there. My body will get hurt. And you may not have these conscious thoughts, but your body is still that resisting. So until your body allows that letting go, you'll be stuck. Um, so just consciously keep working on letting go. You're doing a fantastic job. All right, let's go ahead and go onto our backs for now. Let's go into Supta Baddha Konasana. So the soles of your feet are together and your knees are open to the sides. Nice. Now this can be awkward sometimes for people because they're so tight and it just hurts. So you have some options. One is to go ahead and put supports underneath your thighs, so pillows, blocks, those kind of things. But I love to work with the body instead of just supporting it there. So that means for me to do a little rock of the hips. As soon as you start that motion of the hips, you have a great release. You're like, oh, it's not resisting me anymore. Great. So do that rocking for a moment. And then when you're feeling pretty good, you hold still again. And when you hold still, gravity does its job and starts pulling down the knees. And as it pulls down the knees, sometimes the sensations become a little bit too intense. So do a rock. Rock those hips back and forth. Release the sensation again. And then come to stillness once more. Allow the knees to open. Allow gravity to work. But when it's too much, do that little rock again. So back and forth, allowing the opening. Nice. All right, go ahead and extend your right leg long across the floor and bring your left knee up into your belly. Now with your left knee up in your belly, go ahead and pull it as tightly as you can. Now if you'd like to give it a little bit more space, pull it off to the left side so it's more going toward your armpit than toward your belly. Pulling it off to the left. Good. Keep pulling it. How tight can you pull it? Now think about your right leg for a moment. Point and flex those toes. Back and forth. Good. Now think about the left knee and pull that left knee in. Good. Now think about your pelvic floor. Lift the pelvic floor up toward your heart. Nice. All right, release the left leg. Long, flat against the floor. Bend the right knee. Pull it in toward the belly. Now you can keep pulling toward the belly or pull it off to the right side so you can pull that knee toward the right armpit. Pull it in as tight as you can. And now think about the left foot. Point and then flex back and forth on the left foot. Nice long leg, nice straight knee, pointing and flexing. Nice. And now bring your awareness to that pelvic floor. Lift the pelvic floor toward the heart. And pull this left knee even further toward the armpit. Release that leg and shake those out a little bit. Good. Bend both knees, pull them in, wrap your arms around them.
Go ahead and lift your shoulders and your chin. Make a little ball and hold everything tight. Pull it in close, close, close. And then you can roll side to side, forward and back, move around a little bit. Good. And then come to release your shoulders and your head flat on the floor again. Open your knees so that your feet are going toward the sky. Think about your hips. Pull your hips back down to the ground as your feet are going up toward the sky. Flex your feet and then point your feet. Flex and point. Nice. Now bend your knees again. Pull the knees in toward your armpits. Even open those knees. There you go. And now flex and point the feet. Good. Now while you're here, do little circles with your feet. You're still pulling those knees toward the armpits. Opposite directions with those little circles of the feet, of the ankles. Good. Pulling those knees in toward the armpits. Now you're going to work toward straightening those knees, pushing the feet away from you, and then bending and releasing and pulling back toward the armpits again. And then begin to straighten those knees, pushing the legs away from you. And then when you're ready, release. Bring them back toward the armpits. And again, I'm going to have my feet flexed. And I'm going to push my heels away from me. Good. And then release one more time. This time, I'm going to bring my hands around and I'm going to grab my heels so that I'm going into a happy baby. So happy baby is something that we don't normally take that kind of time to prepare our bodies for. We just go into it. So now that you're here, go ahead and explore like a little baby. Move around a bit. Good. All right, and release that down. Go ahead and bend both of your knees so that your feet are flat on the floor. And you're going to think about taking your pelvis and tucking it up. So you're lifting the pelvic floor toward your face. Or not the floor, the rotation of the pelvis. Then you're going to push into the floor with your feet, and you're going to try to push your knees forward so that you can lift those hips toward the sky. You're going into a bridge pose. Anybody who's feeling a desire for some extra strengthening is going to lift the right foot off the floor, aim it toward the sky, and again, raise your hips higher and higher. Good. Now everybody hold wherever you're at. Breathe in and out. One more breath. And when you're ready, lower one vertebrae at a time, your entire spine. And if you had your right leg up, you can lower that toward the floor as well. Okay, again, we're going to start with the hips. You're doing a rotation, tucking the hips. You're going to push down with your feet. And then you're going to begin to lift your hips. If you want to think about tucking your shoulders under or walking them under, you may. And you may either stay right here, or for those who want a little bit of extra, you can raise your left foot and point toward the sky. Everybody lift your hips a little bit higher and then breathe in and out. One more time, in and out. Bend your knee, lower the foot, and walk your shoulders apart, lower vertebrae by vertebrae, down to the ground. How'd you do on that one? Yes? I didn't get to see you because I was laying down. Who raised a foot? Anybody raise your foot up to the sky? All right. Several of you. Love it. Okay. What?
I always get cramps when I do that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But it's okay.
Let's
I catch them quick.
Good. Let's stretch out your hips. So while you're laying on your back, let's go ahead and take your right foot over the top of your left knee. So this is your standard figure 4. From here, you lift your left foot off the floor. You reach around and you pull that left knee toward your body. Thus, it's pulling your right ankle in toward your body. To increase this, you can also push the right knee away from your body. And you can work with this right here if you like. Alternatively, for those who wish, you could change. Instead of doing figure 4, you could do Gomukhasana legs. So Gomukhasana is that cow face pose where you have knee to knee as tight as possible. So my right knee is on top of my left knee. Once you're here, you're going to reach down and grab your feet and pull those apart and toward your face. So again, I'm still pushing my hips toward the floor, my knees toward my belly, and my feet apart and upward. Either way, you're going to get a nice right hip stretch. Go ahead and release. And we're going to do the left leg. So again, the right leg is going to be bent on the floor. The left ankle is going to come across the right knee. From here, you could lift your right foot, using that right knee to push the left ankle in toward the belly. And you can reach around and just grab and pull that left knee, encouraging that right foot into the belly. Again, if you would like, you can use your left hand to push the left knee away from you at the same time that the left ankle is being pulled toward your belly. And that could be enough. You could stay right there. Any of these places all along the way, stay wherever you feel like you're getting enough benefit. But if you would like to try Gomukhasana legs, feel free to position the left knee directly on top of the right knee and pull those knees as tightly together as possible. And those knees will come in toward the belly, and your hands will reach down to your feet. You push the hips toward the ground, the knees toward the belly, and use your arms to help begin pull the feet up toward the face as they're coming outward. Taking your pick, whatever hip stretch works for you. And then breathe in and breathe out. And then release those.
That's hard work.
I'm sorry, say again?
That's hard work.
It is, yes. But again, finding the appropriate level is really important. No, don't push beyond where your body wants to go. Thus, the next thing I'm going to have you choose from, for most of you, you're probably just going to want to do that bridge again, where we were just lifting our hips up. But for those who are, Heidi, asking for a stretch of the abdominals, since I can't guarantee that you all have an exercise ball to lay across, we're going to go ahead and push up into our name I can't remember at the moment, but here we go. So the first choice is to simply go into that bridge again where you lift your hips. Feel free to simply do that. If you're feeling like you want something more, take your left hand sky up above you with the palm facing up toward the sky. Now keep it in that position as you bend it back and place your palm on the floor so the elbow is now pointing toward the sky. Same thing with the right hand. Palm toward the sky, bend the elbow, bring it back by your ear so the elbow is toward the sky. From here, either do that normal bridge that you had or feel free to push up and get a lovely stretch along the entire abdominal wall.
No, can't do it.
Okay. Now I want to see anybody doing it. There's Tucker. He's got it.
I did it in gymnastics.
Okay. Good. All right. Everybody come down. So the idea is we want to get that nice opening of the belly through there. So I'm thinking, given what we've got, that maybe just having a blanket underneath. So I'm going to roll up a blanket and I'm going to put this kind of mid-back. And I'm going to lay across the blanket so that oh yeah, that's going to stretch it out, so that my whole body is getting stretched over the top of this blanket and I have my arms open and my head relaxed. So if you can find something. Oh, Ellen has an exercise ball. I love it.
I forgot how to use it.
Yes. So let me grab my ball. If you have an exercise ball and you want that abdominal stretch, you sit on the ball and then you carefully walk forward with control until it gets to your mid-back area. At that point, you can put your hands behind your head if you want to support your head, and you can lower your shoulders and your head toward the floor. For some people, they'll just release their hands and have their hands on the floor, and you can roll back and forth and get a lovely stretch that way. That's it. Perfect. Love these different options that you're coming up with. Good. All right. So if you're loving your abstract, stay there. Otherwise, if you're ready, we're going to go down to the floor and do a little twist before we go into our meditation. So I'm going to lay on the floor. I'm going to have my left leg extended, right knee bent up toward the sky. So my right foot is on my left thigh. And I'm going to roll my right knee toward my left side, thinking about my right shoulder, and have the right shoulder pull in toward the ground. And then I'm going to breathe here, in and out. In and out. And then when you're ready, roll back to center. Release the right leg down to the ground. Bend the left knee up toward the sky. And then when you're ready, rolling the left knee toward the right side, thinking about your left shoulder, and push your left shoulder
into the ground. And then whenever you're ready, begin to breathe. Again, in and out. And when you're ready, go ahead and roll back to center. Before finding your Shavasana, think about what your body is asking for. What motion does your body need? Roll, tighten and release, whatever your body is asking for. And then, when you are ready, finding your Savasana. Legs about mat width, arms at about 45 degrees, lying back, eyes closed, ready to listen and experience, hopefully, a moment of stillness in your mind. As you lie in your Savasana, notice that your body is different than it was an hour ago. Notice that your emotions are different than they were an hour ago. We are constantly changing, and that is good. Acknowledge and accept those changes. Our entire society is going through a lot of change, and it's a challenge. Sometimes we resist that. Sometimes we push for it. Sometimes we get angry about it. We struggle with it. We can't understand everybody else. But it's okay. It's part of that process. The process of changing is never easy. But if we can let go of our expectation of an outcome, if we can let go of our expectation of anything, yes, then we can experience more fully and enjoy more completely all that is. Taking a deep breath in and letting it out. I'm going to invite you in a moment to do a lion's roar breath. The lion's roar breath includes sticking out your tongue and roaring like a lion and feeling completely silly, but it's really good for you. So let's go ahead and inhale deeply and then stick out your tongue and roar. Do it again. Inhale. Now stick out your tongue and roar. Good job. Now, tighten your body. Hold everything tight for a moment. Shoulders, hips, toes,
fingers, face, hold it all tight, and let go. Whoosh. Oh, that feels so good to let go, doesn't it? Let's do that again. Hold your shoulders, your fingers, your hips, your toes, your eyes. Everything is tight, tight, tight. Now imagine that you went around like this all day, every day, which some of us do. And release. Whoosh. Oh, yeah. And we don't get rid of every bit of tension, but it helps to even notice that there was tension. Now, allow the body to release, relax, and sink. Feeling the support of the ground holding you up and the gravity holding you down. Knowing that you are in a good place. Allow your entire body to get heavier. Allow your entire body to melt, melting toward the floor. Feeling the floor hold you up as your body gets heavier and releases more. Allow your body to melt into the floor. Allow your body to release into the floor. Draw your awareness to your throat. Let go of the holding in your throat. Release, melt. Draw your awareness to your mouth. Release and melt. Draw your awareness to your eyes. Release and melt. Draw your awareness to your ears. Release and melt. Draw your awareness to the third eye between the eyebrows. Release and melt. Draw your awareness inside your mind, where you notice there are thoughts. You are here as an observer. No judgments, no interactions, no expectation. You're simply noticing that after one thought, there is space before the next thought. Go into that space between the thoughts now. And in this space, there is nothing to do, nowhere to go. It's all this beautiful sensation of contentment and love, joy, connection. In this space, feel the connection to all and that great sense of love. And enjoy this still, quiet space for just a moment. And when you are ready, bring your awareness back to the physical space of this moment now, feeling the mat under your body, feeling the air touch your skin, beginning to wiggle your body, moving an arm, a toe, a nose, whatever works for you, waking up. And when you are ready, finding your way to a seated position of comfort. Drawing your hands to prayer position, heart center, knowing that the word namaste means the light that is within me honors the light that is within you. We share. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.